Look, we did that in Congress. We had congressionally directed funds, and those were district level funds that we put into our districts, but it was accountable. We had to, make sure that this wasn't going to a relative, or that this was something that the town needed, and show why that was going to make a big impact in our district. And these are the kind of things that I think the people of New Jersey deserve to see.
Governor, we have on the line with us Diane in Salem County. Diane, thank you for calling. What's your question for the governor?
Hi, Governor Sherrill. I'm excited to have you as the governor of New Jersey. I have a 1,400 square foot home in Pennsylvania County. I pay $10,000 in taxes. Half of that goes to our school system. We are slated to add over 200 multifamily low-income housing units in town. We have 2 roads going in and out of the town, and a lot of schools. There's going to be a requirement for the road system to be improved, and most likely more schools being built. How are we supposed to handle that without tax increases?
So this is, again, a concern I hear across the state, and thanks so much. Something that I have been incredibly focused on is the economy of South Jersey. As I was running for governor, I heard again and again and again, we feel forgotten. We feel like our economic problems aren't being heard by the state. So you're pointing out exactly one of those problems. But as we build out the economy of South Jersey, I hope what this means is that we have more people for the ratables, for the businesses, so we can take down property taxes as we grow these businesses. But in the meantime, you're exactly right, and that's something that I've been very focused on, as to how we can run this better so that these towns aren't overburdened with sewering systems, with road problems, as they're trying to expand. So this is something I'm working on with many of the counties, with many of the legislators, so we can have a vision as we build out the economy.
Diane, thank you for your call. Governor, we have Garrett in Hoboken on the line. Garrett, thank you for calling. What's your question for the governor?
Thank you, Governor. With New Jersey spending billions each year on pensions, why should taxpayers continue funding full benefits for retirees who move to states like Florida and no longer contribute to our local economy? And if current recipients can't legally be touched, should New Jersey change the rules for future retirees to help ease the tax burden?
So, Garrett, these are earned benefits that people have paid into their entire lives. I would say the problem right now is that in too many cases, through fuzzy math and other financial tricks, the can has been kicked down the road. So we are paying $7 billion a year to fund our pension. We should only be paying $1 billion, $1.5 billion as some of those costs have grown. And the rest of it is really just penalties and fees for not paying our bills, which is why I've said it's so important to continue to fund our pension, because I refuse to keep kicking the can down the road. It's going to make it hard for our children to stay here, for our economy to grow. And so one of the ways in which I think we drive affordability and we drive down the budget, we drive down cost, is to have good financial management and to really make good fiscal decisions.
Garrett, thank you for your phone call there. Governor, I want to move on to relationship with the president. We've been talking about relationships internal to New Jersey, but I also want to ask about another very important one, the relationship between New Jersey and the White House, and how often you talk to the president. You talk to the president. Do you talk to him often?
Not often. I've spoken to him. Look, I'm happy, and I've always said from the start, I will work with anyone to get things done for the people of New Jersey. And at the same time, I've always pledged to stand up to anyone who's attacking anyone here in our state. So while, I'm very hopeful there are some areas we can move forward together, in the near term, it's been a lot of standing up to the president. So I've been in court with him several times. He he said he wanted to take all the Gateway Tunnel funding. That was congressionally appropriated funding he had no right to. So I took him to court and I won. And then he fought it. I took him to court again and won. We took him to court a third time in a separate case. We're winning that one. And then he said, he came after New Jersey and said he wanted to turn over a bunch of private information on voter rolls, and I refused. So he's taking me to court. I think I'm going to win again. But again and again, we're really having to fight when it comes to the federal administration. And now, I'm a former Navy helicopter pilot. I was on the House Armed Services Committee when I'm in Congress. This war, he has not been able to talk about why he got us into this war. I mean, for somebody who said he was going to end forever wars, and as a veteran of the global war on terror, I'm furious. It's raising gas prices. There's no reason we're doing this. It's costing Americans a lot of money. And so again and again, he's making these choices that have been really bad for New Jersey. So that's why at this time, I'm going to stand up strongly for our state, and we're charting a different path forward. Because of this war, he's saying he has to spend $1.5 trillion on defense next year. That's what he wants for the next budget. At the same time, he says he has to cut healthcare and education to do so. That's not what people here want. That's not what I'm going to stand for. So we're going to keep fighting for a different path forward here in New Jersey, creating opportunity, making sure everyone has a seat at the table, making sure you can live your American dream here, work one job, have benefits, your kids do a little bit better than yourself. That's what we're fighting for.